Hog sector, we all know, faced huge challenges in 2023, and it's impacted profitability across the whole pork supply chain. Yeah. So what do you see for 2024 in this sector?
Yeah, so 2023 was really definitely a year of adjustments for the hog sector. So like you said, it wasn't just the producers, it was actually processors had a really tough year as well. And so that was regional as well. So we know Quebec, there was price discounts for producers. Processors had excess supply, and so they were constraining their slaughter at some of the plants due to weak profitability. And hog producers across Canada have had a few tough years. So the pressure on the margins over the last number of years has been quite hard on those hog producers. So what we're seeing now is actually slaughter numbers. So if we look at the slaughter numbers in last year, they were only up marginally at 0.7%. In Eastern Canada, where there was more of those challenges, the profitability concerns and the processing issues, slaughter was down 1.6%. In Western Canada, slaughter we saw was up about 3.7%. So like I said, the largest impact was in Eastern Canada, specifically Quebec. And so this did have an impact on breeding stock numbers as well. So this last July in the West was unchanged. And in the East, we actually saw a sow contraction. So it was actually the second year in a row that we saw that. So it'll be interesting to see the inventory numbers that are coming out on as of January 1st. It'll give a better indication of how processors and how producers actually adjusted to those tough and tight margins this last year and what holds for 2024 with them. The slide that's coming up on the screen shows that the hog sector did go through a rapid increase in inventory starting in about 2015. And if you look at this figure, you can actually see the hog price to feed ratio, which is an indication of profitability, with a higher number being a better indicator of strength in the market. We saw the hog inventory being built up during that time. It started in 2015. What it really created was an excess supply of hogs. And so, as there was excess supply and demand wasn't keeping up with where we were at, that hog price to feed ratio started coming down. So that was the start of the profitability pressures. We did see it start to trend lower, and even despite that, it hasn't been up until the last couple of years that we've actually seen the contraction in the sow herd, which is something that's needed to bring that demand and supply back into balance. So what we're going to see for next year as our forecast is that, as supplies come down, that excess supply is being taken out of the market, demand is coming up a little bit, that our forecast is that prices are going to start to improve. But that's not going to happen actually until the middle of 2024. So the first 6 months of the year, there's going to still be tough margins, pressure on margins. Profitability won't improve until summer. So then, with feed costs coming down, we'll see through the end of the year that profit margins should be fairly positive.
So a lot of factors to consider in the pork sector moving into 2024 to see where that goes.